Once upon a time, in the rolling hills of Uwanda, where lush forests met golden savannas, there was a village called Erawa. This village was known for its skilled weavers whose cloth carried the stories of generations. Among the weavers, none was more skilled than Mama Wura, an elderly woman who wove patterns so intricate they seemed to dance in the sunlight. Mama Wura's son, Teyo, was her pride and joy. He had inherited her weaving skills, though he often said he would never match her artistry. Teyo had recently married a young woman named Aduni. Aduni was known for her beauty, charm, and fiery temper. Though she loved Teyo deeply, she harbored a fear of the unknown and an insatiable curiosity that sometimes led her astray. One market day, Aduni encountered a strange man sitting beneath an iroko tree. He wore a robe made of patchwork cloth and held a staff carved with mysterious symbols. A small crowd gathered around him, listening intently as he claimed to foresee destinies and reveal hidden dangers. "Come, seekers of truth," the man proclaimed. "For a small offering, I will uncover the shadows lurking in your lives." Aduni, intrigued, stepped forward. The man's piercing eyes locked onto hers as he threw a handful of cowrie shells onto a woven mat. He stared at the shells for a long moment before speaking in a voice that seemed to echo. "There is a shadow in your home," he said. "An elder woman close to you harbors dark powers. She is the source of misfortune and sorrow. Beware, or her magic will consume you." Aduni's heart raced. She could think of only one person, Mama Wura. Aduni returned home, her mind clouded by the prophecy. That evening, she watched Mama Wura as she worked at her loom. The rhythmic click-clack of the shuttle was soothing, but Aduni noticed how the patterns seemed to shimmer in the lamplight. Was it a trick of the eye, or something more sinister? Teyo, oblivious to his wife's unease, chatted cheerfully about the day's work. But Aduni barely heard him. Her thoughts spiraled, each one darker than the last. Over the next few weeks, Aduni began to notice things she hadn't before. Mama Wura's knowledge of herbs seemed uncanny. Her ability to predict rain before the clouds gathered was almost supernatural. One evening, when Aduni burned her hand while cooking, Mama Wura applied a salve that soothed the pain instantly. "She's too clever," Aduni whispered to herself. "Too perfect." When a series of minor misfortunes struck, a cracked water pot, a spoiled batch of yams, and a sickness that left Teyo bedridden, Aduni was convinced. Mama Wura was a witch. One evening, after the evening meal, Aduni could hold her suspicions no longer. "Mama," she began, her voice trembling, "I must speak my mind." Mama Wura looked up from her weaving, her eyes kind but weary. "What is it, child?" Aduni took a deep breath. "I know what you are. You've been casting spells on this family, bringing misfortune into our lives. You are a witch." The room fell silent. Teyo, who had been dozing by the fire, sat up abruptly. "Mama, is this true?" he asked, his voice a mixture of disbelief and hurt. Mama Wura's face darkened, not with guilt, but with sorrow. "Child," she said, addressing Aduni, "what makes you say such a thing?" Aduni recounted the prophecy and listed all the evidence she had observed. Teyo looked from his wife to his mother, torn between love and doubt. "I swear by the spirit of our ancestors," Mama Wura said, her voice steady, "I have done no harm. My hands weave only blessings." But Aduni would not be swayed. "Then let the village decide," she declared. The next morning, the village square was abuzz with activity. Mama Wura was brought before the elders, a council of wise men and women who presided over disputes. The entire village gathered to witness the proceedings. Aduni presented her accusations, supported by the words of the wandering diviner. Mama Wura stood silently, her dignity unbroken. The chief elder, Baba Ade, stroked his grey beard thoughtfully. "The spirits must guide us," he said. "We will consult the sacred kola nuts to determine the truth." The elders prepared a sacred ritual, tossing kola nuts onto a divination tray while chanting prayers. The pattern of the nuts would reveal guilt or innocence. When the chanting stopped, the tray was inspected. A collective gasp rippled through the crowd. "The spirits say she is innocent," Baba Ode announced. But the seeds of doubt had already sprouted in the villagers' minds. Though cleared by the ritual, Mama Wura was shunned. Her once thriving weaving business dwindled, and whispers followed her wherever she went. Heartbroken by the rift in his family, Teyo sought answers. He traveled to nearby villages, learning from other weavers and healers. One day, he met a renowned storyteller named Aedil, who spoke of ancient wisdom hidden in the patterns of cloth. Inspired, Teyo began weaving in earnest, using techniques he had learned from Mama Wura and new methods taught by Aedil. His work became renowned for its beauty and complexity, attracting buyers from distant lands. One day, while walking in a bustling market, Teyo overheard a traveler speaking of a fraudulent diviner who had caused chaos in another village. Teyo's heart raced. Could this be the same man who had poisoned Aduni's mind? Teyo followed the traveler's directions and found the diviner in a nearby town. Confronting him, Teyo demanded the truth. The man, cornered and afraid, confessed to fabricating his prophecies to earn coins. Armed with this revelation, Teyo returned to Erawa. He called a village meeting and exposed the diviner's deceit. The villagers, ashamed of their role in ostracizing Mama Wura, begged for forgiveness. Aduni, overwhelmed by guilt, fell at Mama Wura's feet. "I was blind, Mama," she sobbed. "Please forgive me." Mama Wura, her eyes filled with tears, embraced Aduni. "Child, let us heal together." The village, united once more, celebrated Mama Wura's wisdom and resilience. Teyo's weaving business flourished, and he used his success to teach others the art of storytelling through cloth. Aduni, humbled by her mistakes, became Mama Wura's most devoted apprentice, learning not just weaving but the deeper lessons of patience, trust, and humility. And so, the tale of Mama Wura and the false prophecy became a lesson passed down through generations, reminding all who heard it to seek truth over fear and wisdom over suspicion.